a question. Because when I gig at home, it's very different to when I gig here. Do you find a major distinction between how the audiences receive you?
Yes, and now my demographic has changed a little bit.
Say more.
So before I went to the Fringe and stuff, it was a lot of Indians who saw me on YouTube and follow Indian stand-up scene.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's how we find each other, audience and comics. We just put our stuff on YouTube and then they find us.
Yeah.
And now it's because of the Fringe thing, I have my demographic is
the
white.
Fringe thing, winning the newcomer award. Because of the Fringe thing. I loved your video so much at Soho Theatre when you were like, and I won Best Newcomer, but that's not my fault. And I was like, yes,
that's not
so
my
good.
fault.
Okay, so now you have white people coming to the shows.
Yes, and they're lovely. And I don't have...
I'm waiting for the butt.
It's okay.
But they're a little worried about laughing at things. And I'm rightly so. Maybe I would be offended if they were okay to laugh at some of the things I was saying.
Interesting.
Right? It's like a catch-22 for both of them. Is that, did I say that right? Is that what a
nailed
catch-22 is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so it's for
it's a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap. But so what used to happen is there would be enough Indians in the room to start the laughter.
Give
and
them
then
permission.
they'd be, yes. But now there's not enough Indians in the room. And I had 3 really bad shows, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And finally yesterday, Thursday, when there were some more Indians in the room and everyone was able to relax a little bit and start the laughter, the gig went really well. And I was like, okay, I don't have to kill myself.
No, but I get the feeling because you're it's like, oh my God, these people are coming, this will be fun. And then you're just like, are you fucking... I've got the same thing when I have a thin audience. If everyone's thin, I'm like, for fuck's sake, this is going to take so long for them to be like, oh, we can laugh at this.
And it's like, why would I talk
Straight
about
people?
it?
Do you find that? Like, you better with the queer audience?
No, I think straight people are pretty... I think mine's such a well-established thing that, I think they're used to it.
Or maybe you've worn them down over the years.
I think so. I genuinely think that is it. Exposure therapy.
I love that. Instead of won them over, you've worn them down.
No, and you're dead right. I've just hacked away at it. But you're right.
I'm so sorry, I meant one.
No, that was so perfect.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
No,
but
you've
I will
worn them.
say...
I'm sorry, my English is very bad.
Too fucking late.
And you're Russian now? Whoa, this girl...
That was a good Anastasia.
It was so
That was a
good.
really good Anastasia.
So good. And no hablo español. Here's the thing. No, I did do a gig to 1,400 people in Brighton that was mainly straight, inexplicably. But I think it's because Tim Key was headlining. It was Tim Key and Simon Amstel. So loads of shouldn't have been, but loads of straight people were there. And they found me tough going, which was alarming. It was like they'd looked for they were like, we've come for a night off from all that Brighton nonsense. And then I was like, hello. So sometimes it happens. But generally, I think it's more that when I gig in Ireland, I get much more nervous because I think Irish people are very funny. And I think that they will...
But you're one of the very funny
But they're so funny that you're like... For me to stop your conversations and interrupt with my own jokes for 20 minutes, I better be good. Yeah. In England, I don't feel that way. I'm like, I'm happy to interrupt your joke. And you weren't telling each other how you feel. I'm worried. So come on. And
Ash is just slam on all of us.
Oh, yeah, sorry. And the other thing is that in the UK, if people interrupt me, they're usually insulting me, which I love because I don't love, but I can handle that. Mm-hmm. But in Ireland, they're interrupting usually with a funnier fucking story, which is so much more hurtful.
Okay, that's actually true.
They'll just be like, I have a story like that, and then they'll tell a way better. And you're like, motherfucker, I spent hours on this. So
that's
is there
a problem.
Distinction here? Do people interrupt you or people engage with you in a different way?
No, so it's okay, you know what you said about this is actually quite true. You know how you feel about Irish people? I feel that way about Indians also. Yeah. To live in India and to and also I'm really I'm one of the very privileged people in India. So it's if you don't have certain privileges, you better have a sense of humor or life is very hard.
Yeah.
So they are really funny and I'm also really nervous back home. The reason I'm not nervous here is not because I don't think people in UK aren't funny, but I just feel
it's okay. It's okay. we did shit to you guys. It's absolutely fine if you don't think our sense of humour's great. Compared to what we did, you're allowed to not enjoy our sense of humour. I think that's fine. Given the centuries of bloodshed.
Your kooky
Fucking
stuff.
Hell.
No, you guys are funny and so kooky, but it's more just that I have a reverence.
We've got to get rid of the word kooky because I think contextually in this episode it doesn't count.
Go on, sorry.
No, so it's just that over here I think they're just anything you say we don't know anything about it. So they're curious, so I get their attention. But then I have the problem of I need enough brown people in the room to make it okay to laugh at things. But
have you considered having a white queue and a brown queue just to let more brown people in?
So segregation.
No. I laugh earlier. And then you both went, oh, Catherine, that's... And I'm like, Helen, yeah, I know, babe.
No, I was considering it.
Listen, something to think about. Something to think about.
I was like, 1 second, maybe I should release tickets to people based on color. And what if I had a minimum 50 brown people requirement?
I think that's a completely reasonable requirement.
Right?
People do that, don't they? I'm not like, as far as like people's races, but like when you're doing those late night shows, apparently they send someone out before the show starts, like for like the Jimmy Kimmel sort of thing, and they pick people depending on how they look. That's so awful. They have like a sexy section and then like a fuggo section at the back, and then they're just all like, yeah, you can be section A. Oh no, we've section D, and then they're like at the back. So then when you watch it on TV, it's just like fit people like living in New York.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
So you could just sort of like, you could go out and be like, oh, you're invited to this section, but not
to
so well.
Wow, that's so sweet. Or like like to have your own comedy bands. I guess you could do like, I went to a wedding recently where you couldn't sit with your partner, you were split up with like strangers.
Oh,
so maybe you could split them up and just be like one and one and one and one.
That is a great idea. I could actually go out, find a couple of Indians, and then break them up, break the whites up, and put a few Indians, like a sandwich, like a Oreo audience, and then just get buckets of laughter.
I'd be in the middle.
Yes,
that's nice.
I think that would make everyone at Soho Theatre much more comfortable and be fine. It would be fine. Hey, so on this podcast, we generally speaking, and I know that the only thing you really know about me is that I got my nipple pierced to prove a point.
I love that story so much. It's I haven't seen enough, I guess, but from whatever stand-up of yours I've seen, which is like I saw your hour, and that was my really favorite bit. I really loved it.
That's so kind.
It's so good.
You're the only person who's ever looked at me and said that that was relatable.
It was so relatable. I am so pathetic sometimes, and
you are my favourite person in the world.
I don't mean it.
You're so relatable. I'm so pathetic. You didn't win them over. You wore them down. You are never changed.
But I'm really pathetic, and you're not. But when
so
someone
went down to make a clip of that. That was the happiest moment of my life.
Oh no, my English is very bad.
Stop it!
I'm bad English. I meant sometimes I'm really sad, and everyone.
Let's all just take a breath.
I just want to say I feel seen by your stand-up.
Thank you. That's so kind of you.
I've never dumped anyone. And I have low self-esteem. So when someone owns up...
We're so close.
No, it's all right. You're doing good, babe.
But when someone lets me into a slice of their life that's slightly sad,
good stuff, Haroon.
I feel seen.
Thank you so much for that. But also, I actually think that is what stand-up is. I am so sick of the I won stand-up. Have you seen these? Like, there's so much... Like, it's such a trend in stand-up.
I hate it.
And then I won.
No, I call it the Alan Partridge stand-up, which is where you end every story with, needless to say, I had the last laugh.
I'm like,
needless to say. Alan Partridge.
I don't...
I'm going to be sending you about 2 years worth of watching in clips on Instagram message within about 2 hours from now.
Okay.
And it's not like I think you'd like this. It's like please watch it.